episode 51.
Hey everybody, welcome to Into the 99, where we have 99 cards, cause Commander is never won! And I'm one of your hosts, Sherman.
I'm Brian.
I am Hope.
And I'm Daniel.
And guess what? Today we're gonna talk about a bunch of Magic announcements.
So many things.
So many.
Kind of like a little bit touching on where we see Commander going, all the new products that are coming out, how hype some of them are, how overhyped maybe some of them are, and let's really dive into that.
Yeah, so basically the Commander Legends announcement came out last week. It was just too much to process in a week. Everyone kind of rushed out to get it without really spending much time to look at it. And we just wanted to just go over some of it because we have a lot of opinions.
Heck yeah, buddy!
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sherman.
No, I'm just thinking because there's the Commander Legends, there's a green Commander pack, there's like
new Commander decks, and then more new Commander decks.
They're also pushing a Magic Arena because there's that deal going on for that.
Oh yeah, the like Zendikar.
Yep, Zendikar Rising,
mystery, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're pushing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Wizards is just like, hey, play Magic,
and we're all like, but we're broke.
They're like,
don't do drugs, play Magic.
Yeah.
I still love that. I've sent Hope that meme.
Home. Think I'm your home?
No, I've sent.
Are you too good for your home?
I have sent Hope that meme 20 times where it's just like, Wizards of the Coast, this card is 25 cents. Yes, but what if it was purple? Me buying the secret lair instantly.
Yeah, the slimes.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
They are cool.
I saw the announcement of that at 9 a.m. our time, and I purchased it at 9:05 our time.
Yeah, Daniel's a bit of a crackhead.
They had the
nonsense.
The counterspell one. I can't remember what it was. Whatever it is, the flavor text on it is cyclonic.
Yeah.
And I got it immediately. I was like, they're speaking my language.
Yeah, they clearly, somebody's out there listening to the podcast, and that person I respect.
Yeah.
I respect on a deep emotional level.
Secret lair is just a ploy to get me to spend money.
Yeah, you specifically, because I know you will.
This one guy bought 20 packs.
Yeah, wow, we love him.
I want to get to the
Should
core.
we send him some free product?
I want to get to the core of this announcement, which is basically that they just still won't let Brawl die. They're not going to let Brawl die. Just quit it.
That's their thing, though. Commander's not really their thing, so Brawl's their thing.
Commander draft is essentially just
Brawl.
It's the deformed.
Draft.
It's the deformed child of the deformed child of Commander. So it's supposed to be a 60 card draft format where you don't have to play singleton.
Minimum.
No, 60 maximum. It's a 60 card format.
I thought it was 60 minimum.
No, definitely not. Otherwise, we could play. If it was 60 minimum, I could play like 500 card decks.
I thought it was 60 to 100.
You just gotta take every single thing that you've pulled and put it all together in one deck. Who cares?
Are you 100% sure?
Let me check it out.
Well, hopefully there's a 5-color commander.
But the nice thing is, like, they're doing it just like Battle Bond, where you draft two, and then you pass it aside, right? So
they did that with Double Masters too, although the draft didn't really happen, but the first pick was 2.
After the draft, you will need to build a 60 card deck, much like how a traditional deck of Magic is 60 cards and a traditional draft is 40. Here it's 60 to Commander's 100.
Oh, okay. That's why I saw it, because 2 Commanders 100. Because I remember seeing them talk about 100, and I was like, but why?
But we have to drive home that this is not...
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to drive home.
Well, I do after this, but it's not a singleton format.
Yeah, it's just draft with a commander.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they're like, how about 5 more cards on the back?
You like it?
But then it's not even Brawl.
Yeah.
Not even a singleton format.
Like I said, this is the deformed brainchild of Brawl.
Brawl? Brawl is 60 card commander standard.
Yep.
All right.
But it's still against singleton format.
Yeah.
So, first things first. No one wants standard commander.
They're like, please play standard.
Everyone wants the eternal format. We can talk all day about what you should and shouldn't ban in Commander, but nobody wants standard Commander. No one wants a rotating Commander. Everyone likes to play with their whole collection.
Well, I think that's why that's one of the reasons that Commander is so popular, right? It's because you can play whatever you want pretty well.
I think the only benefit of Brawl would be if it just became a thing for Arena. At least if you could play it repeatedly on Arena, then people would maybe spend a little bit of time doing it.
Well, because that's just one of the things with Standard in general, right? Is the rotation it's hard on the wallet, and obviously.
I understand that Wizards wants to control a format.
Yeah, totally.
They'd be crazy not to, but like people just aren't going to listen to it.
But people aren't really playing Standard, so it makes sense that they would make something
kind
like
of hard to. And
yeah. So people, but even still, like Standard was kind of like getting kind of pushed out by Modern, Pioneer, and Commander.
Yeah.
So,
I guess like when we were
because Pioneer made Modern more accessible, and you know what I mean. So playing Standard just it seems like what's the point?
Well, one of the big issues too is that like Standard is really expensive artificially because there's such a demand for the cards at the time. You have to crack packs to get them, or you have to go and buy whatever is the most powerful of the day. Embercleave's a really good example.
Yeah,
it's not worth the price that it sits at right now.
But
it's just popular.
In a meta,
And when you have to buy 4 off, then it makes it more expensive for everyone else. And then as soon as it rotates out of Standard, its value plummets and Commander players just pick up the pieces.
Another really good example of that is Uro.
Yeah, Uro.
Oh man, so expensive.
Yeah, Uro's not like there's some cool Uro Commander decks, but I personally haven't seen anyone play it. I think Tyrone has one somewhere.
It's
still
strictly
expensive.
a Standard card.
That's the problem.
Yeah, because it's like 65 American. It's like or something like that, 60 or something American, and it's
90
like
Canadian.
yeah. I think because I sold one yesterday and it was like $8.
Well, Oko was like another good example.
Yeah.
Oko just was like so scooped up by Standard players at the time that there was none left for Commander players. So Commander players don't really run it. Now you're starting to see it pop up a little bit. It's a great answer for someone's problematic Commander.
Totally.
And it's a really good reminder that if your playgroup runs it, you need to protect your Commander.
And let's face it, when it comes to Commander players, like if you want to reinvest, okay, people that will buy like the Standard set that just came out or whatever really, really good expensive cards you have, I don't know about the rest of you, but I would literally trade it in for the higher value, wait for that rotation, and then buy it again.
That's what I do with every set. I just crack my packs, I sell what I don't want, and then I get it later on when it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing that I've like lost out on like that is every time I've sold a Crater Hoof and it just keeps going up.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
But like
Just stop.
Like even for like for my biggest thing about it is like when Dominaria was out, when I was drafting a lot, and I drafted like 3 cards throughout the set of Dominaria. And I traded them in when they were I traded them in when they were like $70.
That
and then,
sweet Cyanoversa, baby.
Yeah. And then when it rotated out, I bought them for like what, $10 each. So I made like $60 each, technically speaking, for trade credit. Okay, but another problem with Brawl is just that nobody wants to go through their deck that they've put time and effort in, change out every single card that's out of rotation to put in new cards and come up with a new deck.
You know what though?
Our game store owner, sorry, I've got to jump in with this. Our game store owner does have an idea for how they could at least make it a format people might play, and that's by making your own Standard. So if the cards in the deck would have been legal in Standard, yeah, that's Adrian's like response to it is if the cards would have been legal in Standard, that can be a Brawl deck. Anything. So if it was whatever block and had a legendary commander, play it from that Standard set, and then you can eternally keep your Brawl deck.
But it has to be within that Standard.
Yeah. So it's another deck building constraint.
Cool.
We all love deck building constraints in general, so
that is like that. Yeah,
and I'm down for that.
You just can't like I couldn't have a Brawl deck right now, and then when Zendikar comes out, I can't slot stuff in. You just have to start.
Yeah, exactly. You have to make
cool.
one for the current Standard or whatever it is.
He's a smart cookie. That one.
Adrian's
we'll keep
a smart guy.
That's why he runs a business.
He's all right.
But that being said, this is just another attempt at it. I'm going to be honest. Nobody I know plans to draft this so far. The only people maybe Hope likes draft. Adrian likes draft. I'm sure people will run draft events, and our friend Tyrone, who like also likes that. Like maybe people like that, but I don't think most of and we have a huge Commander
I
group.
think that have to be you already have to be into limited formats to want to draft this. But I think the average Commander player is buying it for the set.
Yeah, people are going to crack it, and
but
I'm
also
buying it for the lands.
That's my expectation. I don't know because not a ton of it has been spoiled, and I haven't really had a chance to talk to anyone. And we're still living in like a very weird time where like typical events aren't happening, obviously. But I would personally love to draft this, whether it's at home or not.
Jumping off of what Sherman said, that he's only going to be drafting this or buying the boxes for the land. Mm-hmm. The lands kind of greatly upset me.
Well, yeah, we'll get into the lands. And you know what? Let's actually just cover the lands right now.
Hit it.
So
the Crown lands.
Yeah, so they are
like
bringing in the Battle Bond lands in the Commander set. It makes sense because they come in tapped or untapped if you have 2 or more opponents. But the originals came out in a Battle Bond set, and I kind of see it as these ones should have came out.
Commander Legends is basically Battle Bond 2 right now. A lot of repeat mechanics so far, at least. And just the second set of them. And they were needed. These are great cards, and I'm hoping that they include the other half that were in Battle Bond as well, because Battle Bond was not printed enough at all to meet the demand of these lands.
So I think, because I just picked up a Morphic Pool, which is the black-blue Battle Bond lands, and that is sitting at $15 when I picked it up. So, those lands are holding their prices, and because, again, Commander players are animals.
Or crackheads.
These all have great flavor text. The artwork on them is beautiful, and I'm sure they'll be available in the full art frames.
They have great flavor text?
Yeah, so Rejuvenating Springs is the new Simic one. Again, enters tapped unless you have 2 more opponents. Yeah. The flavor text, when they're done pummeling each other, the fighters relax companionably in the springs, warming their sore muscles.
Cute.
That's a tea.
That is such a Commander thing to say. Everyone, we attack and now we friends.
The Boros one, the loudest and most heartfelt cheers come from the cheap seats.
Amazing.
The Is It one, between matches, combatants practice to stay in peak physical and mental form.
Mm-hmm. Very Is It.
Undergrowth Stadium is the Golgari. To get to Valor's reach, competitors must first make a name for themselves in the smaller arenas.
I like that name, Undergrowth Stadium.
And then Vault of Champions, the Orzhov one, which is my favorite one so far. And it's where victories are commemorated and moments of glory immortalized.
I like that.
Right.
That's one of my new favorite flavor texts.
I do very much like the cheap seats one, though. That one
feels. So
Boros.
That's such a Boros thing to say.
It's true.
As I just alluded to, one of the main mechanics that has been brought out in this is partner. I said at the very beginning of the last episode, partner is one of my favorite mechanics, and that they tried to water it down with the partner with.
Which is exactly, like I said, what we talked about, what we talked about last week, partner with was because partner was heckin' strong.
And then minutes after recording it, they come out and they're like, everything has partner.
Hey, partner.
Partner has everything.
Howdy, partner.
I might name the episode Howdy, partner.
Okay. Literally, please mute my mic next time I try to pull that kind of crap.
You know what you should do? You should save that title for making a deck tech where you call it a search engine. Have something that's a 5-color commander and have everything searches for something else.
The Howdy partner deck?
Yeah. So it's this partners is with this, and you just search through it. Every single card that's a spell, and even some lands, you have to search for something.
Yeah.
It's a search engine. It's like Google.
Well, a really good thing that you just mentioned is actually what I like about the partner with. I like that they tutor each other out.
Yeah.
That is a cool aspect.
Have to.
Yeah.
And I take it with the ones that just say partner.
There's no other.
They don't search for
anything. Well, and I think that's because they're not limited to anything. So it's you couldn't be partner searches for its partner, because then you could search for anything.
Because I've never played any of the open-ended partners.
Nah.
So I'm going to skip down to it.
The partners are also just
There's 71 legends in the set.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, it's either 40 of them, 41 of them, or 31 of them are partners. So the one comes from the one that everyone has seen, the Seb McKinnon art, Prismatic Piper. So we'll start in with that. It's
Ugly boy.
It's a 5-cost, 3/3 legendary shapeshifter. If it's your commander, choose a color before the game starts. The Prismatic Piper is the chosen color. And its flavor text it is everything and nothing.
I love it. It's ugly and handsome. It's when you have ugly cute dogs. I love it.
It's a very weird looking card.
I love it.
You can't choose colorless because you have to choose a color, right?
It still could be colorless technically with things, but
it says you said
choose a color.
You could choose a color, but you could run it as a colorless commander.
Just not choose a color?
No, you'd have to choose a color, but you'd be like, this is my red colorless deck.
Oh
yeah.
I see you.
Putting in Ghost Flame.
Ooh, good.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, the whole point of this, sorry with that mic ping there. The point of this card is because they want it to be a draft format. Otherwise, it is essentially useless to everyone except for like the silly deck brewers among us all who are gonna just toss this into things because we want to just play foolish things. One of Zach is already talking about making a 2 prismatic piper deck.
That's gonna be funny.
Yeah, double piper.
Like,
Double it.
of course that's illegal, but at the same time, I would allow it.
But it's worth it.
I would allow it.
I just would allow it.
I don't think it is illegal because it doesn't say you can only have one of the same
But
partner.
it's legendary.
Yeah.
It's legendary, so you can't cast them both.
Yeah.
No, but it's a singleton.
But it's a singleton format. You can't have two of the same cards.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever played Commander?
Yeah. Actually, this is a draft format. It's not singleton.
That's true. If it's a draft
You know
format,
what?
you
If
can.
you
Double
drafted
prismatic
it,
piper,
you
yeah.
could have 2 prismatic pipers. That's accurate. That is true.
Number one, I talk all the time about how much I love.
So much.
I love.
Just
Cyclonic
talking
Rift.
in general.
No, just things in general.
You
But
do love Cyclonic Rift.
the things that I
We
like to
broke
talk
'em.
about. No, getting frustrated with the interruption. That's all. I really like the uncommon legendary creatures that they brought out. Yeah, I brought out the legendary creatures. Ugh.
The uncommons.
Yes, I enjoy the uncommon legendary creatures, and them having partner, I think, is a really, really cool mechanic overall. I don't know why in the etched frames the partner's so low on these ones, but
What's the etched frames? Because I did see some talk about that, but
it's
I
just
actually haven't seen
it's just a new kind of
The partner's so low. What do you mean?
partner's usually at the top of the card, but it's low on the
Yeah, they have it at the bottom of the text.
yeah.
Yeah, I do think that that's kind of weird, but like
Yeah.
maybe it's just their.
But anyways, the etched frames are just a new kind of foiling where they look a little more metallic when you're doing it. It looks like I haven't been able to see it. They showed a video, but it doesn't show too clearly. It looks like it's more similar to the masterpiece framing where only specific parts are foil. So it gives it just a much nicer look overall.
Oh, that's interesting.
On top of it, they have 29, so it says they've reached back in time 32 popular legendary creatures not otherwise in the commanders and put them into this etched frame, and Prosh is one of them.
Yeah, and
That must
Prosh
make
is
you
looking
happy.
mighty fine.
I love Prosh, yeah. Combining those together, the set has over 100 possible legends that you can crack, and they're from any set in time in Magic history.
I just wanted to make a mention of the 32. This is something else that was brought up by our sweet LGS owner. And also that's Ogre's Den Gaming Club, by the way. We love them and they're the best. And their employees are just the coolest. So he was talking about how 32 is the same combination of different like color combos that you could have. So he's like, there might be like one of every color and then one of every guild and then one of the 3 colors and then 1 5 color and then one
That's
of the
pretty
4
cool.
colors. He's like, it just works out. He's like, I don't know if that's why they did it, but that might be what they're
If,
doing.
if they have
Math.
3 colors with partner in here, that'll be phenomenal.
No, like for the reprints. Like if there's,
Oh,
there's
okay,
32
okay.
of them, so you could have like. You
so
could
they'll have like a Jund one
they
and
have the
Abzan
Jund one
one.
already. Yeah, exactly. So like they could do one of each.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if they will, but the fact that they can is very neat.
Yeah.
And then the
Probably
commander.
will.
That's
set,
actually
like,
that's actually
having-
pretty interesting to.
Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, like they're, they know what they're doing.
So
What
let-
would sorry?
Oh,
what
go
would
ahead.
really be cool if they did like you remember in Warrior Spark how they had like the stained glass of like all the planeswalkers.
Yep.
They do the same thing for if they did one commander for each of the colors and color combination and everything. They had them all as a stained glass and just had it as like
a
Like a
huge
big like
tapestry.
Oh
yeah,
my god!
sort of like with like the Karn and the Urza lands, right? Same thing here. If they did something like that, then it's just like okay, like now we have to literally collect them all, just so we can have
come
that
on.
panoramic. Yeah. So
That would
I
be
do love good
amazing.
artwork.
Yeah.
So 2 of the partners that were initially spoiled, obviously there's one that artwork wise was spoiled initially, but in this announcement is what I'm talking about. They're from Innistrad, and they're both uncommon partners. That makes me very happy because I really, really like the ability to be able to crack like 4 or 5 legendary creatures in a pack.
Well, and especially like like that's one thing that I really liked about Dominaria Like, I loved having the uncommon legendaries. I thought that was super sweet. So it's cool to see.
Well, and as far as partner has always been, the partner with at least comes in a pack with each other. So like if you were to have pulled the Braylon, you'd pull Shivaraz as well.
Yeah.
These, because they're not partner with, you're not going to pull them together. But I'm hoping that they do add in, like, if it's uncommons, that there's 2 partners in the pack.
Hopefully.
I think that'd be cool. The Prismatic Piper is a common, which is cool, so it'll show up more often.
I was going to say one cool thing about this, too, is that all of the commander partners, they were all mythic with the exception of Thrasios and Timna. So it's nice to have some options that are not, like, so hard to get your hands on, you know?
Yeah.
So
And this also, having common and uncommon, more uncommon commander options really opens up like the Pauper commander format that people enjoy playing. Like we've seen a lot of chat about that
budget
in our
options.
Discord. Yeah, that hey, like again another restriction that your commander has to be uncommon.
Yep, it gives you more options, so it opens the door a little bit. So
one thing they did mention before we start talking about the partners is it says we took some notes out of the partner with playbook. And they made flavorful combinations that work together, but they're not restricting you to them now. So there are things that are meant to work together. So these 2 are, like I said, they're both from the Innistrad plane. It's Helena Kessig Ranger and Alina Kessig Trapper. So, Hope, do you have those up?
I sure do.
Yeah, you go ahead with the green one.
So the green one is Helena Kessig Ranger, and she is 3 in a green. She's a legendary creature, human archer. She's a 3/4 with reach, which makes sense. She's an archer. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 colorless. When you do, that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature with partner, which
So
is
a
awesome
one-sided
in green.
fight, yeah.
Yeah. So.
It alone, just as mono green commander, would be a great. It's Romanus, but better. Yeah.
And then Alina, the red one, Kessig Trapper, she's 4 in a red for a 4/3. So I do like that.
They
kind of go together, yeah. So she's a scout with first strike, tap and add an amount of red mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control that entered the battlefield this turn. And again with partner. So assuming that you're playing Helena and Alina together, like chances are with that green fight, you're trying to play kind of like chunky boys.
Yep.
So you play that, you deal the damage, and then with Alina, you can tap and get the mana equal to their power, which is pretty freaking...
Red needs ramp.
That's going into my Godzilla deck.
Like that's the,
Well,
it's red ramp.
Red having that ramp alone is great, even if you're not running it in this kind of a deck.
Well, especially because a lot of red creatures they're like glass cannons, right?
Yep.
Like they've got chunky power, but then they're like 1 or 2 toughness.
Well, there's so many, like the lightning. I can't even lightning rager or whatever.
Ball of lightning. 6/1.
Yeah, it's 6/1 exactly.
So
you pay your 6/1 for whatever and get it ready to go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is obviously just like the makings of a really, really cool ETB deck in general.
Yeah.
The ability to pay 2 when you have it, have things enter and do damage, blow your creatures out of the water.
Well, and the fact that it's 2 colorless is really nice.
Well, and let's not discount how wild that you'll be able to, because this isn't cast, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just talk about initially Sneak Attack or the new Perforos. But let's say that I drop in Ulamog. I drop Ulamog into the battlefield. He's 10/10 or 11/11. What is he?
Which one?
Either or.
Yes.
Yeah. So I drop it in with haste.
Yeah.
So I pay my 1 with my sneak attack. I pay 2. Ulamog blows the blocker off the field, and then I tap Alina for 10 or 11 mana. Like, that's just silly. So there's a lot of really, really cool combinations. You'll see a lot of big explosive plays in a deck like this. Like, I'm gonna build these 2 for sure. Like, as a deck, I was already kind of gonna build a Neath fight deck.
Oh, perfect.
So this is just the better commanders for it, and I'll have Neath in it.
And then on the next episode, we will introduce Daniel's 300 commander decks, one at a time.
That'll be the whole episode, just us titling them.
Well, yeah.
3 hours later.
There's a lot coming, like a lot of good commanders coming. So I will be, especially with so many partner mechanics.
Oh, I know.
I'll be building a lot of decks.
A lot of different combinations. That's something that I was talking about. It was like, I'm like, Wizards, like, I know we make the joke that they're coming for my wallet, but I was talking about all of the different commanders coming out, and I'm like, I just need Daniel to sugar daddy me. I'm like, please provide for me.
There's going to be a lot of fun combinations, obviously, with so many. But just talking about them alone, this is a really cool deck. You don't have to build it super powerful like I'm talking about where, oh yeah, I'm going to drop in Ulamog and let me quickly bring Emrakul in.
Well, the other thing with the partners, even with the little ugly Piper boy that I love so much, is that especially in competitive, a lot of times when you had a partner commander, it was really just for the color fix.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he's for.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's
he's the color fix.
One of the most popular current competitive decks is like the blue farm deck, Timna the Weaver and Crom. Mm-hmm. And yeah, exactly. They're just there for colors and for their like inherent little value.
Yeah.
But this, like, I'm already looking at the fact that like I'm gonna drop in Box Topper and Previous Great Worm. Then I'm gonna tap Alina for 16 mana, and I'm gonna Chandra's Ignition the board.
Remix to Ignition.
Like there's a lot of really, really cool combinations just that these automatically enable. And again, I love Enter the Battlefield. I can't stress it enough. Like I'm gonna put Panharmonicons in them. I'm gonna make a really cool ETB deck.
I have to say that I'm just really excited for some of the reprints, about the 32 reprints of commanders from the past, or cards from the past, because like Prosh, I don't think I've seen one in a case anywheres.
Prosh isn't very expensive, to be honest.
He dropped.
Yeah, I just haven't seen him in a case.
Yeah.
But I haven't. But then again, like I haven't.
Prosh, I think, is only like a $2 card.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Prosh is cheap.
Yeah.
Because
Corvold is expensive.
Yeah.
Well, Prosh just was so accessible. Like he was initially in just the commander deck, but they reprinted him in I can't remember. They reprinted him in 1 as the non-foil, so it just like plummeted his price, which is good because he is meant for commander. There's no other reason to run Prosh except as a commander.
So here's a question.
Hit me. But please don't hit me.
All the legendary creatures, if you could pick one for them to reprint, or hope that they do reprint, which one would you want to see?
Azuri.
Angus Mackenzie.
Yeah.
but he's reserve list. Angus Mackenzie aside, I don't even know. There's so many that I like to see.
I don't know why Azuri came to my brain. I haven't thought about this ever.
I would
it was
like
just
to
like
see more
popped into my brain.
More experienced commanders come back because they usually get picked up pretty quick.
Yeah. I want to see them reprint Feldegriff.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine that in a draft format? And it's like, I'm not here to play to win. I'm just here to
play.
I'm just here to play. Here,
also,
have some hippos.
Also, Feldegriff, like, I don't even know if there's... I've never seen anyone play a foil Feldegriff. I don't know if a foil even exists.
I don't think the one exists. There's like...
Foil extended border.
But that's what I mean. The etched art.
Freak out. Call Eddie
the etched art. If you had a Feldegriff with etched art foil, people would go crazy.
I wish they would retcon Dark Feldegriff into also a legendary creature.
Huh.
The questing Feldegriff.
That'd be interesting.
That would be nice. I personally love the legend frame. I can't get over it.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little idea that they added that. I think it's just a nice little bit of flavor, a little bit of flair, especially for like those like myself that I'm like not super into foils. So it's nice to have a little bit of like fancy pantsiness without the foiling.
I don't know if Captain Sisse is a reserve list card. I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
But that card
Sisse
desperately needs
awesome,
a reprint.
yeah.
Like I think it's still like $50.
Yeah, Sisse would be a great reprint. Yeah, that would be really cool.
I would love another reprint of the Eldrazi Titans.
Yeah, the Titans just always need a reprint.
Yeah, they can't. Brian's glaring, but
yeah, you don't have to like them, but like you can't find
point
them.
is
They're
that
so expensive.
No matter how many times they reprint it, because they were just reprinted, people love those cards.
So expensive.
There's so many decks.
You don't have to like it.
Spoiler alert for anyone who's playing Tiny Bones. It has Kozilek in it. Because
you need a reset.
Exactly. It's in there just so I can discard it. And then if I have the mana, maybe cast it and annihilate a Bronze Field.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But really, like a lot of the time people are using like those specific Ulamog and Kozileks for the resets and not for the cast. It's just so they don't like screw the graveyard, you know? So, they don't deck themselves, right?
It's the risk you take, you must do it.
But you know what I mean? Like that's All hail our Lord and Savior Tiny Bones!
Oh, hell! This is
hell.
why we need videos. So we,
I know. Just for the record, Daniel was holding Tiny Bones, the tiny bones, up
The
in
best
his
gift.
Up in his big hands
It's like,
above his head.
Lion
Tiny
King.
Bones, big hands.
Yeah, and all of us were like bowing. So because she's our Lord and Savior, and we stand. So
Tiny Bones, the new god of the
I
underworld.
love Tiny Bones so much. I've never loved anyone more than I love Tiny Bones. It was the best gift. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm awesome.
There you are.
Thanks. Wow.
Are you going to everyone bow down?
But yeah, so like there's so many. I would also love to see Tiny Bones reprinted, to be honest. Tiny Bones just came out, needs a reprint already.
Yeah. Well, they did print more, so it kind of got one.
Well, yeah, but kind of not.
Yeah.
I did not like how the Jumpstart packs
Nope.
were, to be honest.
I
No, did
didn't
not.
ask.
I
They're
felt
not
ripped
for
off.
you.
Well, yeah,
I
they're
stand by
did
my
you guys-
point that they're not for you.
they're
Did you guys
for
buy a box of it? Or
Yeah.
a box, and then I think
Trash.
55 individual packs trying to crack it.
I bought a box, you bought another box. That's how it worked.
Well, I bought a
But
box
you
as
did
individual
get two
packs.
Allosaurus
Yeah,
rares out
poor
of yours.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shepherds.
And I got nothing.
you got Linvalas and stuff. You got okay stuff.
All I'm saying is they weren't for you to crack.
Well,
That's not the point of Jumpstart.
It's for beginners.
Let's talk about that right now. This is also not for me to crack. This is a draft
No, it's
format,
not.
and it's based on drafting in general. But it doesn't change that I'm only going to crack it. At least with the Zendikar stuff, they've at least finally acknowledged that there's just the commander players are animals, and they just
Yeah.
want to go through things.
They just wanna
So they're
crack
trying to make a
packs.
more exciting pack cracking experience. So that'll be kind of
Pack
cool.
experience.
Pack experience. In general, there's going to be a lot of cool. We've seen that Jessica's going to be.
Can we talk about the set boosters for a sec?
That's more Zendikar.
It's
No.
still well, it's up to you.
Okay.
Well, fine. Go ahead and run it through.
I was just gonna say because I didn't really understand what the deal was with them really. So it's you get an art card which I'm into.
I love the Modern Horizons. art
Yeah,
cards.
so you get an art card just like that. Then you get a land, and the land may or may not be foil. Quarter of the time it's foil. And then there are 6 slots where you get commons and uncommons that are kind of themed together, which again is good for deck building to have a themey sort of moment. And then you get another slot that could be an uncommon, it could be a showcase, or it could be they're just being coy about it could be something else from the set. Okay. And then there's 2 more slots that have a potential for any rarity. So you can get double rare, you can get uncommon rare, you can get common, you can get whatever. And then there's the mythics and the rares and then the foil slot. So there's and then in the final slot, the token slot, there's also that list of random cards you could get, the reprint slot.
Oh.
Right? Because that's
interesting.
another thing. It's it's not just about what's in Zendikar. There's also this list of miscellaneous cards that they're just
Yeah, there
you
is.
could maybe also get this though. So
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a few cool things that
and
they have added into
one
them.
of the ones that they spoiled was Pact of Negation.
Yeah,
So-
Pact of Negation also needs.
another reprint.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, no, that
really.
was a Force of Will that just got reprinted.
Yeah. Before we
Pact of
even
Negation,
go farther, I'm really hoping that they add in the 0 cost cards that they 0 cost if you control your commander cards. Those just came out
yeah.
and they
the commander set.
yeah,
Yeah.
They
those
need a reprint. outside
already
of
need
the-
a reprint. Every one of them is good.
Yeah.
Every
It's just
single
a
one of them.
free spell.
Well, it's a potentially free spell.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, deflecting SWAT's still a good spell. That's the red one where you can choose a new target for spells.
Yep.
Yep. Redirect.
Why are you?
You have to stick
why are you
sl-
shaking your head? That's what it is.
What? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Deflecting Palm is the one that I was
Yeah.
thinking of. And I was like, no, it's not.
You had a red white. you
I'm
take the damage
that is
instead.
not new.
No. The new one he's talking about is a Stegosaurus
Be me,
just swatting it with his
stupid.
tail.
Yeah,
Be me, a idiot.
yeah, Fierce
Yeah,
Guardianship,
I see you.
Deflecting SWAT,
Yeah.
all of them.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you're putting the battle bond lands in there. Let's go ahead and throw these things in there too. 'cause-
What the heck?
that is another thing I hope is in the set is the other part of the battle bonds. I know I already said that, but
Yeah, but
I really
complete the cycle.
yeah. If they have the whole cycle in one set, then that'll make those extremely valuable to go into an LGS and just pick packs up. The problem is, are they going to short print this like they've done with the last 3 products that I've wanted to spend money on?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to buy a box of this without question, likely 2 or 3,
Yeah.
because I'm an animal.
You have no self-control. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm a problem.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be doing that, and then I'm gonna be sending in lists on lists on lists of lists.
That's all right. That gives me something to do.
Yeah, it's true. I'll keep our LGS
Keeps
busy.
me employed.
Yeah, I'm funding this LGS.
Yeah, single-handedly.
But so one of
Daniel
the
pays my
initial artworks that was actually spoiled was of Baron Sanger, and everybody knew from just the art alone that this is who it was. It did not take very long for anyone to piece this together.
Yeah, it took like a second, and they're like, "It's Baron Sanger."
Is
We're
it
like, "We
the
know."
same artist that made the original?
I have no idea.
I think I saw a post about it that
It could be.
that he came back and redid it or something along those
Like
lines.
the original, the normal art, or the showcase one.
Not
The
100%
original one, I
Yes.
think you said. Yeah.
So they first off
There was two.
in the
Yeah.
preview event, Baron Sanger is going to be the he's going to be the promo card for it. So he has an alternate artwork available already, which is really, really cool because I love alternate artworks. His normal artwork,
Always.
though, is already wicked.
Oh, yeah, it's dope.
Sherman, do you have him up here?
Yeah, totally. So he's a 4 black legendary creature, vampire noble, flying. Oh, 4/4 flying. Whenever an enter creature dies, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Senior the Dark Baron. Whenever an enter player loses the game, you gain life equal to that player's life total at the turn as the turn began.
So number one, that's crazy.
And his partner.
Well, especially if you can like bonk the person super intensely,
Well-
or lose them on like some other lose them, or they lose on like a different like loss parameter, so they have really high life. That
You
could be
crack
really
them
fun.
with a phage or something.
Yeah.
Or infect.
Yeah,
Or
that's
you-
exactly what I was thinking. It was infect.
Or like you have the Witch Planeswalker reduce it down to 10 and then kill them.
Yep. Oh, because it's
Oh,
as the
Bolas?
turn started.
Yeah, as the turn starts, so who cares?
Soren.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Nicol Bolas also does it. Oh no, it does 10 damage. Sorry, I'm stupid.
Another really good thing is generally a really common win con a lot of people see is Aetherflux Reservoir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pay 50 life, do 50 damage. So this is a really good way to make this card a monster. I attack Brian with a 4/4 flying. I kill Sherman with the Aetherflux and gain Sherman's 40 life on the 4/4 flying. Ooh. Gain my 40 life.
They need to reprint Aetherflux.
Yeah. Aetherflux is a
getting-
really good card.
Aetherflux would be a good card to go on Commander Legends because it is a commander like staple essentially.
This card actually would go really well into my Elenda the Duskrose deck.
Yeah.
Because again, it's kind of aristocracy. It's also making a lot of tokens on creatures. I have the Ozolith on it. Just the ability you can kill people pretty easy with this commander, for sure. It has the built-in evasion of flying. It has the ability to, in any aristocrat's theme, pump itself. Grave Pact with this is going to be devastating.
Yep.
Yeah. Another thing that we were talking about the other day was having maybe in Commander Legends having, because of what happened in Ikoria, having keyword counters as a thing in
Yeah,
some of
that
the
could
stuff.
be.
That could be neat.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So
I think it's time to discuss the broken card, the elephant in the room.
Which one's? Oh, yeah. So
which one?
Number one.
The
Number one, this shows two things. Number one is that Wizards is listening to the player base. And number two, it's that Wizards doesn't understand the player base, like all of us, are not very smart. Because we all just want, like...
you know what? That's not true.
You know what?
We're just not game designers.
You know what? It is true, because black shouldn't get a cultivate.
No.
You know? Each, like, the color pie exists for a reason, and there's strengths and weaknesses you should have to build the deck around.
Again, restrictions.
Yeah, the whole white's weak thing. White isn't weak. White is
will
just
blow up your lands.
white is just not green. And like you keep seeing them print like cards for white that are just not in white's color pie, and that are, look at Smothering Tides. There is no deck that has white that could not include Smothering Tides. There's no reason to not include it. If you have one,
Staple.
it is
Would
an
love to
amazing card.
Would love to see it in Legends.
If that was reprinted, it's the same thing. Like if it was a $5 card, it would never sit. You would never have it in stock anywhere.
It's getting so expensive, and it's only going to continue creeping.
It's good in any deck that cares about artifacts, and it's good in everything. It goes in every Boros deck. It goes in
All of my decks.
every Orzhov deck. Yeah, It is, in my opinion, one of the best enchantments that they have printed in the last 5 years.
So let's
go on to this one.
So this one's called Keeper of the Accord. It is 3 and 1 white creature, human soldier. At the beginning of each opponent's end step.
One sec, before we get there, it's a 3/4. A 3/4 for 4, human soldier, not a bad body.
Even if it was vanilla.
Yep.
So at the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. That's at the end of each opponent.
Yeah, that already is a super good card. Like, this alone, I would be excited for this card. If this was the only effect on the card, I would buy it for so many
rare.
decks.
Yeah,
it would go in
rare.
it would go in Rith, it would go in Risk the Redeemed,
But
it would
that's
go
not all it does.
It would go in Linden, it would go in Kraven Regna, it would go in every one of my decks that runs anything. It would go in my Boros Soldiers, it would go in the Jarina deck. It's a great card.
We get it, you have a lot of decks.
Listen. Trin and Sylvar, this is an amazing effect because, yeah, exactly. This has the ability to make 3 creatures per go around, protecting itself. Every Aristocrats deck could run something like this. Amazing card.
And then, so its second ability...
Then they just staple this nonsense, this absolute nonsense. Again, if this was the only ability on the card, I would be like, wow, this is a really good card.
At the beginning of each opponent's end step, again, each opponent, if that player controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a basic Plains card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So it's saying
wrong.
Plains.
Basic Plains.
Basic Plains.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Basic
But
Plains.
it still doesn't matter. Just in a mono white deck alone, there's
That's all
so
you're
many
fetching.
there's so many times that you're going to be behind the green player because that's what green's supposed to do.
Well, like the problem I have with this, besides the fact that white, like we're going out of the color pie. All right, so this is going to be a staple for like every single white deck. I feel that we're gonna see a lot of Azorius decks, okay, blue-white decks.
A lot of control.
That is gonna play this, and it's gonna play the new Teferi deck, or the Teferi Planeswalker, where you get activated on everyone's turn, and you just lock them down constantly with like the Grand Arbiter or something like that. I don't know. It's just gonna be stupid.
When we look at cards, we like to look at it compared to what exists right now. Land tax alone is always going to be an expensive card. It's one of the best white ramp cards available.
But that's only on your beginning of your upkeep.
And it doesn't put them into play. It brings them to hand.
Yeah.
This is just a land tax trigger effect.
Do they come into play tapped, or do they just come into play?
No, they go into your hand.
These come into play tapped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who
But
cares?
it's at opponent's end step.
Yeah.
So on your turn, it might as well come in untapped.
Yeah.
So exactly. So if let's say that I'm on only I have 2 planes and a soul ring. I've played this card. Everyone else is ahead of me. I'm going from 4 available mana to getting 3 more before I even draw. That's nuts. It's crazy deck thinning. It's amazing ramp. Like, it
It is nice deck thinning.
Yeah, and again, straight out as an enchantment, this would be an expensive enchantment. If it was a 4 cost that did the exact thing at the beginning of each opponent's end step, you go get a basic planes, that would be, again, a white staple.
If it was a mythic, people would still be just as excited.
Oh yeah.
It's
Also,
not.
let's
It
not
is
let's
a rare.
yeah, let's not even talk. It's a rare.
But
There-
like, think of it this way, okay? Something like this does not punish anyone for having a risky hand. Okay?
Yeah.
So like, let's face it, okay? If you had like 2 lands and a soul ring, but you have this one
You're good.
creature, you're good.
You hold that hand.
Yeah, you're not. If you didn't have this card, still some people would still be like, "Oh, should I risk it?" Oh, we have 2 lands on a soul ring.
And
That's
in a
still not-
mono white deck, that's kind of.
that's really really.
I mean, I would
risky.
keep it, but I've definitely screwed myself
Yeah.
before.
I
But
would keep 2 lands in a soul ring.
I personally wouldn't. Okay, just because it is a huge risk. Okay, and I would want to play something like where like I have at least
A lot of
3
background
lands. And just go from there. But like keeping the 2 land hand with a soul ring or with something that can bring it out is just a huge risk. And now you're saying like, oh, it's okay to not mulligan as much. It's okay to just take the risk and just because you're going to be fine. I'm not cool with that. So
This card is too strong. This doesn't belong in white. This at least they could have made it. They could have shoved this into Selesnya. At least it's a little more in that. color pie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they could have pushed this up to a 6 cost.
If it was green and white instead of just pure white.
Yep.
Yeah.
A 6 cost. There's no reason to not run this in any white deck. Every single deck that has white needs a
Right.
copy of this card. There's no exceptions to any theme that you couldn't have this in.
So
I was going to say sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
go right ahead.
Oh, thanks. I was going to say one of the only saving graces of this is that it's a creature. However, in white, it's so easy to protect creatures. So it
People
doesn't.
don't have enough
So
removal.
and like creature removal is like probably the only removal that people have like a pretty consistent amount of. But like I said, in white, very easy to protect. So I just don't even think that that's a major downfall of it. Sorry, go right ahead, Brian.
And I haven't seen like a list of like the other stuff that's been spoiled or
Very
anything.
little. Very
It's
And
basically only
basically
these ones.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just looking at this
Spoil the more
card,
for this, and they have for Zendikar.
yeah. So just looking at this card, I can see that I feel that this could be one of the more expensive cards out of the set.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
just with those 2 abilities, I will buy every single one that
It's the
I
same.
come across.
I'll see every one of them that is there will not be there at the end
and
of
you'll
the day.
fist fight each other.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
No, but it's the same thing. There's going to be many players like Brian and I who like white as an identity, and again, there's no reason to not run this.
Selesnya for the win.
This is I would say pretty much Soul Ring good for
Make
white.
Boros good.
Yeah.
One,
Sorry,
can
go ahead.
think about in any angel deck. You're always going to be like behind in mana. Not anymore,
Well, I was gonna say my angels I never play because they just like
because you need so
they
much
really-
expensive ramp for
they
it.
ironically struggle to get off the ground.
There you go. But like, I understand everyone's like, or a lot of people are like, Boros is the weakest, blah blah blah. We need to ramp it up. You know what? I don't think so. I think people just have to change the
Boros
idea.
is just, I was going to say change guilds.
No.
Boros is doing just fine.
I think they just have to change their idea of how to build a Boros deck. I've built Boros many times. They all run fairly well. Like they're not
I love Boros.
competitive.
It's aggro. Boros is aggro. You have to build
You
it
also have to
rather-
watch like in the angel deck that I play sometimes. Well, because for me, like if I'm gonna play like angels, I'll play Kalia, but
Yeah.
sometimes I'll play a Gisela.
Let's talk about Kalia. Kalia also needs mana, and this is just like, here it is.
What a queen! But I'll play like a Gisela Boros deck, and like there's the medallions in it, like
Yeah.
stuff like that like will bring mana costs down, and like an Urza's Incubator would be great. Also, would love to see that reprinted in this.
Yep.
That would be
Yeah, that'd be
sweet.
fantastic.
Or Belby's Portal.
Yeah, like all those kinds of things that'll like reduce, like if you want to reduce mana cost on things like that, really is really helpful. But like you just have to think about how you're doing it. But something like this removes that struggle.
Yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
The problem I find with a lot of people that build a Boros deck is that they want to play battle cruiser magic. They want the big spells. You know what? You can't build Boros like the same as everything else. You have to change how you build it, okay? Like I have my favorite Boros deck that I have is my Tiana Ship's Caretaker deck.
Great
okay?
deck. Love it.
It runs well. It plays to its strengths, okay? But I only have like maybe like 2 cards that are 6 cost, okay? I may have like another 2 cards that are 5 cost. Everything is like 3 or lower. I might even have like 4 cards that are 4 cost, okay? That's the only reason why it runs really well.
Yeah.
Well, you have to balance the strengths and weaknesses, and just giving cards that don't need the strengths and weaknesses to the colors, or that don't play to the strengths and weaknesses. Sorry, it just kind of, again, I cannot think of a single white deck or theme that this card could not slot into.
Yeah, well,
this will be the top recommendation of every EDH rec list card.
Oh yeah, absolutely, without question.
So let's just print a white exploration.
It's
Might
it's,
as well at this point.
Mark
it's a
Wolf,
human soldier.
Please
Well, and
draw it.
it's just a really, really good card. Like I can't even express how good it is.
Yeah,
Like
it's dope.
Like either of these, again, the same thing. If you put the first effect on an enchantment at the beginning of each opponent's end step, if they control more creatures than
I'd
you,
run
create a
it.
1/1.
Yeah.
It'd be great for every token deck, for every life gain deck.
If they did just the second half on an enchantment and called it Land Tax 2, I
Oh.
would run it.
Yeah.
What
That's
they
an uncard.
And again, even when I'm talking about that, if the enchantment was 4 mana and did that, I would run it.
Yep.
If the enchantment for the land tax ability was 4 mana, it would be running every white deck. Putting this on a creature's bonkers.
Yep.
What they should do if they want to constantly change the color pie like this is
Make purple.
is change. I would like that, but they
That's
should
also an
they
uncard.
should just bring back another set like Planar Chaos.
Yeah, where they color shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they just color shift it. You have people like me that love to play crazy cards out of the color pie that no one expects. Okay,
White counters.
white counters, green counters, you name it. Black fogs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Well, darkness, again, that's a
Yeah.
great card. Darkness is expensive
And it's
because
yeah.
it's the one ability in that color that does it.
I just bought 4 of them like 2 weeks ago. They were $12 each.
Yeah. For a common, is it not?
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay, and it was in was it Legends and reprinted in Time Spiral.
Yeah. Like
So,
there's...
and they're still $12.
So,
Is it
any-
like
any
one of the
bets on-
shifted ones, or
No,
that was just reprinted?
it was just reprinted.
Jeez Louise, Buckaroo.
Yeah. Okay, 1 black and it's a black fog. And
yeah,
that's it.
just fog if it was in
I
black.
want one.
Yeah.
Because I had it for my chess deck where I have Darkness and I have Holy Day.
That's
Oh,
cool.
nice.
so who wants to take a bet that some cards get banned before release?
Well,
Again.
that's the problem is that like Commander wants to balance it. You don't want to go into the stale deck building options, But that's where this is going because, like I said, if there was 20 of these available at the store and these are reasonably priced,
gonna buy them all.
I'll buy every one of them. I have so many decks that run white, and white's one of my favorite colors to build.
Yeah.
You have to beat Brian from
Hope's
that.
right. We're gonna be throwing fists.
That's
Yeah.
well, that's what I mean. Like
Can't wait.
my favorite color combination is generally Selesnya or Boros, and Brian's is Selesnya. So again, whenever they print these nonsense cards for Selesnya, it's whoever's at the store first when it goes into a case or whatever between me and Brian buys it.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true.
This is just this is my wheelhouse. And again, even for the we're talking about Trin and Silver, that's one of as a group, that's one of our favorite decks. And like
This
that,
is a human.
yeah, it's on theme. It's a human. It's a soldier. It makes human soldiers. It makes cat food.
Nope.
They're soldiers. They're marching.
soldiers,
Yeah, they're
they aren't
soldiers, not
humans.
Oh,
human
white
soldiers.
soldier. Okay,
Yeah.
you can still feed him to Silva.
Our
Oh, no.
soldiers.
No.
No, it has to be
Has to
human.
be human.
It has to be human.
That was the issue that I had with the Elspeth one. That
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she makes
Crazy Little
soldiers.
soldiers, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
white
But it-
knights or something or whatever.
So
Yeah.
Well, this also does protect when we're talking about Kalia as well. Kalia, every one of those decks runs big creatures. That's the point of Kalia.
Yeah.
And this gives you some of that protection to maybe get to the late game with it.
chump block
It-
some.
Yeah.
Too good of a card. This is
Give me some
far,
little
far too
boys.
powerful.
And you throw in banding and you're good to go.
Oh my
Oh
god.
god!
I have to mention it. You got
All the new players would be like, "What's banned?"
But yeah, so that's part
Look
of
it up.
part of their announcement is that one thing we wanted to try and use this set to do was help out strategies in the format that needed some assistance. So they don't need assistance. Right now Commander's balanced as it is.
I'm curious though to what extent that's going to be, because again, we have so little spoiled,
Yeah.
and I'm not honestly surprised that we have this much spoiled. I think it's just so early.
But when they shove stuff like this into the set at the rare slot, this is again, auto includes aren't great for Magic. I don't think that they're healthy to the
Agreed.
format when they're just things that cards should have an up and downside. There should be a risk versus reward for putting it into a deck.
Seeing this card, it makes me wonder what other color breaking cards are in the set.
Yeah,
This is a rare. What nonsense are they putting at Mythic?
legendary creatures.
But again, it's not all going to be legendary creatures.
It
I'm
might
sure.
be.
Do you know what's at that mythic? The Black Cultivate you mentioned.
But again,
doesn't need ramp.
But that's what I mean, right? I just don't know. Especially giving cards the things that they lack. White is the exile and destroy enchantments color.
Lands.
And the downside is that it doesn't ramp. But when it ramps far too hard.
Yeah, it ramps out nasty stuff.
Yeah, Smothering Tithe, having Smothering Tithe out, and if everyone's just drawing cards and all this other shenanigans, I could easily have 6 treasure tokens.
Well, and
Yeah.
like I said with Smothering Ties, there is zero downside to running it in any deck that has white. If you have a Smothering Ties to put in a deck, you should put it in a deck that runs white.
That's if you can find one.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. If you have it, like if you're going through your binder, you have a Smothering Ties sitting there, zero downside. There's no risk to putting it in. There's no, well, it's like kind of expensive, so I might not get it out. It's not a 7 cost thing that might hit play sometimes. Yeah, it comes out out in pretty much every one of these games, and it just goes off. Like anytime you draw Smothering Ties, you can keep a Smothering Ties hand that's not super land heavy and just be fine.
The worst part is when we're playing against someone that's playing Orzhov, okay, and they have like Smothering Times and someone like Black Market out.
Yeah,
That's just devastating. Okay, it's like so much mana for days.
And a Martyr's Bond, so that when they sacrifice our treasure dog.
But that's what I mean. Again, where's the downside of this? This isn't an expensive creature. A 4-drop in Commander's nothing.
Yeah.
If they had something like this with upkeep, maybe.
Cumulative upkeep on this would already be good. Like I said, this at maybe a 6 or even this effect at a 7 would still be good. But this effect at a 4 is possibly the strongest white creature.
Could you imagine if let's say they do continue this change in color pies and everything? It would be hilarious, in my opinion, if you saw something like, here's this new red creature. When you can tap it for to prevent 3 damage to a target creature.
Yeah, red protection or
yeah, here you
Honestly,
go.
Honestly, that would kind of annoy me.
A red cleric.
Yeah, it would be.
I hate it.
It'd be horrible but hilarious if they actually did do something like that. But I don't condone it.
But that's what I mean. Like when you look at the color pie and stuff, right? Like black has lots of draw because you can pay life for it. But black doesn't have a lot of life gain. So what are they going to do? Just stuff in some black life gain into this? What are they going to do? Are they going to just jam in here's some green card draw? Yeah. Like
not cool.
Yeah, there's a problem with listening to the community, and it's the community is speaking about what they think is good at the time, the same as we do. But I'm not the design team. I shouldn't design the sets because I would just design broken things. That's the problem with letting players who don't playtest this. Again, this is in a draft format. Maybe it's not strong there, but in Commander, there's again zero downside to run this.
Yeah. The problem I have with I agree with you 100%, Daniel. And the problem is when you listen to the crowds like this, okay, the masses. Oh, you know what? Here's an actual example of what happened. You guys know, I used to play a lot of different card games back in the day. Okay, and I might have mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes before, but basically one of the games I used to play is Legend of the Five Rings, and their design team, they had these testers, okay, and these testers, in the game you had different clans, okay, and these testers, they were loyal to certain clans, so they would make those clans more powerful than the other ones, okay, and the design team's okay, sure, because they don't really care. They're just going based off these testers. Yeah. This is the same principle, okay? You have people that are oh, I want this color to be better. I want to see this go down. I just want to promote this and push this as much as I can. And the design team is going to be you know what? The higher ups keep on hearing this from all these players. We don't want to lose our jobs. We're going to do this so we can make more money.
Let's just give white some reanimate like black.
My other thing with that
bring back Resurrection
is that Commander players would buy the set pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, there's new legendary creatures. Yeah. I'm sold. Say no more.
So the thing is having to buff up different parts of the pie and whatever. I don't think it's at all necessary. Don't get me wrong. I want new cards and I want powerful cards, but powerful cards within
reason.
Yeah, within their home.
The power creep is real here for sure.
Totally. So that's why I'm so curious to see what else they're going to put out, because if this is what they're opening with, I'm curious to see what they're going to, finish with.
Although maybe this is double masters and they opened with the best cards, because Mana Crypt still was the best card. Force of Will.
Force of Will.
Yeah.
Force of Will's okay.
Force of Will.
Mana Crypt's more valuable
card, but Mana Crypt is more playable.
Yeah, it's more valuable to players.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a whole different
Force of Will's still pretty cool.
A whole different beast, bucko.
But yeah, so Commander Legends already has a lot to talk about. We talk about 30 minutes of just the white card alone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Tough for another 30.
also think one of the points of this set is to try to bring in players that don't play Commander, like that play limited and sealed formats.
Let's talk about one good thing quickly on it, sorry. The fact that you will now be able to crack command towers and
Yes.
commander spheres. Very, very valuable. There's no way they don't put Soul Ring in here.
Cracking a Soul Ring?
There's no way they don't put Soul Ring and likely Arcane Signet. At a minimum, Arcane Signet will be in here.
I can see Arcane Signet. I don't think they'll have the Soul Ring just because it's in the green. Like one, it's in every single commander's.
But they want commander players to play
True.
it. So
But they also just released the Soul Ring in green.
yeah, but that's because commander players need it in everything.
And it's a different art.
Give
Yeah.
me altered staples.
Yeah. Oh well, they've already Commander Sphere is one of them. There's already a nice full art
the
extension of it.
borderless. Yeah, it looks
And then
really
the same
nice.
with Command Tower.
Give-
And pulling foil Command Towers, doggy.
Oof.
Can I
Oof.
get a yeah?
Yeah, there should be good things. We'll touch really quickly, really briefly on the Commander Green as
More
well.
expensive than I thought it would be. Better value than I thought there would be.
Do you know the
Sylvan
price of it or
Library?
what?
We're expecting between 60 and 70.
Reasonable,
Monopoly dollars.
reasonable for what's in it.
Yeah,
Loose monies.
yeah
I
moose
think
money.
it's worth it.
Totally.
Even at
Just the
70,
tutor.
it's still-
You're good.
Yeah, Tutor, Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
Those
But
two
the
alone.
Worldly Tutor itself,
Yeah.
there
Same with
is
the
Sylvan
library.
Library. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's quickly go
Way
through them
better
top to
value.
bottom. Bane of Progress with an alternate art. Bane of Progress is
Fantastic.
an amazing
Awesome.
card.
And that's like
Fantastic.
again like $20.
For everyone who doesn't know Bane of Progress, 4 green for a 2/2. When it enters, destroy all artifacts and enchantment. Put a 1/1 counter on it for each destroyed this way.
That's
Yep.
and baby. That'll ruin Brian's whole life.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause it's
Another
each,
command
not
tower.
target.
Another command tower because they understand what we like. Very, very cool one. Garrick Wild speaker quote on it. Absolute power is the only true authority. Anything less is a lie told by the weak.
Yeah.
Wow, what a heavy metal quote.
Fantastic.
I now have a new favorite flavor text for the website.
Ooh, speaking of favorite flavor text, just to like squirrel for a second, Rise of the Dark Realms has excellent flavor text. Liliana is a bad bee.
I'm skipping the next one. And skipping the next one as well. Seedborn Muse. Brian needs all of these because as we've talked
Oh,
about
and the new art is gorgeous.
yeah, the new art,
So nice.
the new art is great for everyone who doesn't know Seedborn. 2/4. It's 3 green. Spirit. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. This is an amazing card and it's an amazing artwork. We have an Altered Soul Ring. Obviously taps for 2 mana. Looks beautiful.
It does look really pretty.
Deep within the heart of a forest. The new sun flared to life. Great flavor text as well. And if anyone can't tell, I really, really like flavor text.
Well, it adds flavor. It's
Sylvan
just
Li-
nice.
Sylvan Library is expensive.
Yep.
There's again, it's a card that people would run if it was more affordable. Here it is, just shoved into this pack.
They're like, here's accessibility.
Yeah, with cool new artwork. Sylvan Library is 1 and a green. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn. For each of those cards, pay 4 life or put it on back on top of your library. A really cool thing about this is it is a draw effect. So if you have something like Teferi's Ageless Insight, you will draw 4 and you'll only need to put 2 of them back or pay the life.
I still prefer Miri's Guile.
Miri's Guile is another great one. Again, that's something that needs another. The new Yisan Worldly Tutor, so good.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
So good. And
That's-
so on theme.
I also loved when they spoiled the artwork for that and they were like, yeah, it's Isan, but like it's not Isan.
Yeah.
So figure out what card
Worldly
this is gonna be.
Worldly Tutor's spike was nuts because so many people needed it. It was just not
I could
printed.
use more.
Yeah, it's
and Sherman sees the Isan artwork and it's just like, oh baby.
instant. Search your library for a creature, reveal it, shuffle, put it on top. Great card. There's not a downside to it.
Creature
Very,
tutor.
very strong.
Love it.
And its new flavor text: a single chord brings them to heal, a whole song, and they dance.
Oh,
Yisan the Wanderer Bard.
cute.
So the 2 I skipped are because these are 2 of my favorite commander options.
Yeah.
One is Freya-Elise in just stunning new artwork.
Lovely.
It is
Lovely.
just so nice.
She's the lesbian
3
queen.
green for a planeswalker that can be your commander. +2, create a Llanowar elf basically. Create a 1/1
Druid.
elf druid that taps for 1 mana. -2, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Amazing built-in removal. -6, draw a card for each green creature you control. Freya-Elise is an extremely fun commander to build for elves.
Yeah.
And also for my artifact hate deck.
I also have a really big crush on her now. That new artwork, oh my god.
Oh, it's just so wonderful. Lore-wise, Freyalise is a very, very cool character.
Dope.
Rolling around with Windgrace, like it's.
She basically also made Jaya Ballard
Yeah.
become a
That's
planeswalker.
true.
It's
Because she thought Johto would be a planeswalker, but then he wasn't. And then Jaya was just like,
yeah. Freyalise is just
fun fact.
awesome. The artwork, just the trees in the background of it, like I can't express how nice it is. And then I have three of this Omnath. I shout all the time about multicolor Omnath of the sky, Omnath in a cave. There's apparently going to be a new Omnath in Zendikar. I'm pretty sure it's the white one, Omnath Ascended. And if it's not named Omnath Ascended,
What are you
I'm going to
doing?
complain. And if it is, I'm going to take credit for sure.
Yeah, 100%. We've been saying it for months.
But this is mono green Omnath in the best artwork of Omnath.
OG Noth.
Yeah, so good. It's Omnath is just such a cool
Omnath,
creature.
Locus of the Royal.
Locus of Mana.
Locus of Mana. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, because the
It's
angry
green.
one is the
Two
foil.
and a green for an elemental that's a 1/1. You don't lose unspent green mana as steps and phases end, so he stores your mana, which is very cool, and he gets 1/1 for each unspent green mana you have.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite cards. It's one of the mythics in the set. It's very shocking that more of these aren't mythic, just Freyalise and Omnath.
It's also kind of dope that I've never really thought about it before because I never really had to think about it, but the mana stay is green,
Yeah.
Yep.
which is
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Crewfix is already strong, and he turns your unspent mana to colorless and stores it, which is very cool.
but this stays green.
Yeah, it stays green. Not only that, but it buffs him. He gets
Yeah.
stronger from how much you have.
Sure Strike Trident.
And yeah, I do run Sure Strike Trident in it. Seedborn Muse, the ability for it to just keep untapping all your creatures.
yeah, in conjunction with Omnath also.
Yeah, and you just continuously.
Priest of
Permanents,
Titania.
not just creatures.
Yeah.
Permanents. Let's not get that
Yeah,
twisted.
don't you get
Hey,
that.
I'll put 10 mana in the pool. Untap. I'll put 10 mana in the pool.
And,
Omnath very frequently is enormous.
oh, yeah.
Like
He's a
Omnath has to be removed.
Theok elemental.
So yeah, that's the I don't like, by the way, that they have a foil and non-foil version, but I understand
Yeah.
that not everyone likes the foils. A lot of
Give
people
me
actually
that
like the
foil.
non-foil less. Yeah, I'm
Me.
an animal. I'm probably gonna buy both, to be honest. Just I might leave. I'm gonna open the foil one first, and if I like the foils,
if
then I'm
they
gonna run them.
are $80 moose monies, that's
The foil one will be more
100%.
expensive.
It's 100% worth it.
No, yeah, the foil one will probably be
That
around
Sylvan
that.
Library was $50-$60 on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And the
Omnath-
Worldly Tutor was 60.
What I
Omnath
like-
is something like $30.
Yeah, it's true. What I like about this product, like of all the products we've seen so far, I have to give kudos to Wizards on this one because this one product alone, you could literally buy it and play every single card into a green deck.
Yeah.
You play them all in the same deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is no waste in this one. This is not like a hey, you get a few cool things
Yeah.
and like what's the Flame of the Past one that came in the Chandra edition.
Whatever. Past in Flames.
Past in Flames. Yeah.
No, there was another one.
I
that
can't
was, like,
remember. I have it
unplayable.
too, and I can't remember. But like, of every single set they've released, like the Jace one, Gideon, all that stuff, of every single thing that they've tried, I have to say this is the very first thing I've seen in a long time that's a home run,
Yeah,
and I have to give kudos.
zero
to them.
downside to this product.
Yeah,
Agreed.
this is fantastic, especially for anyone that's getting into Commander. You have these that are like almost virtually every single thing is almost a staple or can go into a green deck. And the fact that it all can go into a green deck and all work very, very well, it's fantastic. It's great value.
This
Totally.
this is the one I was talking about. Rite of Flame in the Chandra book. Pay one for a sorcery, add 2 mana, then 1 for each card named Rite of Flame in each graveyard.
Yeah.
So you can really
Ooh.
hope you're in a 4-man red game and
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
playing this. Yeah, right. Like Sherman is right on this. This is it's a home run on it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll probably buy the foil and non-foil. If the foils look good, I'll leave the non-foil sealed in my big old display, or I'll crack it.
You'll crack it.
Crack it.
You'll crack
Two
it.
more
We
on
know
decks.
you.
Heck yeah.
We know you
Two
way too
more
well.
decks.
Well, I'm
Two-
probably going to buy one of them also. So. And we'll
10
just-
more decks. 10 more
10
decks.
more decks.
With that being said, guys, let us know what you think of just Commander Legends in general, of what's spoiled, and are you going to buy this Commander collection?
And are there any of the spoiled cards that you're already like starting to brew because I want to see those sweet, sweet brews.
Yeah.
And let us know what you guys think they should reprint for legendary creatures.
Just reprints in general, because I feel like we kept spouting, but like I want to just like out of nowhere we'd be like, oh, yeah, reprint that, you know. But like, what is your ride or die? Like, this is the card that you would just
Go
freak
nuts
out
for.
about, yeah.
Or would love to finally see in foil or something like that.
Or
Yeah.
whatever, or just like in a new
Or
frame.
with the legend frame, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, love the
yeah,
legend frame.
baby.
Like I said, I was joking with the Angus McKenzie, but Angus McKenzie with a legend frame, oh.
Yeah,
But
Angus McKenzie with a new art that doesn't look like it's always a proxy.
But you just have
hate
like
it.
you can reprint it.
So
Just call it Angus McKenzie
Sorry.
Jr.
The art isn't ugly. That's not fair.
Yeah.
The art isn't ugly. It's the
Every
it's,
one of them looks like a
it's
proxy.
the frame. They just look
Yeah.
gross. Yeah. So
The
it's
card.
not the art. It's the card. Yeah.
Bring
Well,
back
that
The
was
heart of the
Legends.
cards.
Everything in Legends looks
Yeah.
looks
Well.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Legends is kind of a.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the technology that they have. Wow.
There's someone stamping.
All right. So before we get into our normal end
farewells.
cards, we wanted to take a moment to make somewhat of a sad announcement, which is that this is Sherman's last episode. He's not dying.
No.
We love him.
Let me jump in. Last regular episode for the moment. I'm sure
Yeah.
Sherman will jump back in with us every now and then. We'll let Sherman take it away here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just my work. All it is? It's work because it's been crazy. For those that don't know, some of you guys do know. Most of you guys probably don't. I work for a company and we do a lot of shipping and distribution. And given the current situation, yeah, it's been busy. And
To say the least.
Crazy and a lot of really long days.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it also doesn't help that I've been promoted.
Which is, by the way, congratulations.
Congrats,
Yeah.
Let
but
me hit
also-
these buttons.
Yay! Thank you. I like to think this award with, but it's just one of those things. Real life is happening.
Yeah.
It comes first.
Yeah.
And it has to. You
Well,
know?
has
and
to.
you work weekends and stuff. Like, are you going back to work after this?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
Don't be silly.
So that's what I
Same.
mean, right? So a lot of the time with Sherman climbing this ladder, he just doesn't have as
on-
much time to
he's on
jump
that
into the
good
recording 8 in the
hustle.
morning.
I actually took like 3 days off last
Wow.
week for
Wow.
like the first time in since February, March.
I was gonna say this year. So
Actually, yeah. If you think about it that way,
yeah.
it is since this year. That's like
Yeah.
my first time I've ever taken 3 days off in
Yeah.
consent.
So
Wow.
so this is a sad day for us because obviously we love Sherman and
Well, and a bunch of people have reached out and said, like, hey,
and-
where's Sherman?
Yeah,
Like,
where's he been? And-
obviously part of the group.
So and this is the reason. It's just real life is kind of taken over. And
Yeah.
it has to take priority. Yeah, we're crying. It has to take priority, you know. But this is definitely not a goodbye forever. It's just a goodbye for now.
yeah,
Oh.
and I'm still
Yeah.
gonna try to
He'll be around.
Yeah,
and-
I'm still gonna be around. I'm still gonna try to help the podcast as much as I can.
kind of
if, you
behind
know,
the scenes.
Yeah, make suggestions here and there for
Yeah, the puppet
topics and
master.
everything, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like if there's ever a topic that Sherman wants to be a part of or get in on,
we always have a seat for
yeah,
him.
always
Yeah.
a seat welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, Brian rubbing his lap.
I'll switch it back. You and Daniel going back and forth that way.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so this will be the last one for
A little
while.
while. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens because, especially with everything going on, and then with we don't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
once school starts, and then after that is October, so Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then you have the holiday season, and normally June, July, August is our slow months, so that's when we all take vacation.
Yeah.
That
and
was
that's
not the
an
case.
option.
Well, and when you're in shipping and stuff like that, the holidays are the worst time for you.
Yeah.
Worst and best.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get you every once in a while, but
Yeah. But
you
for
know.
now, it is what it is,
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm still going to be in the background trying to help you guys here and there whenever I can. And whenever you guys, reach out and hey, can you help out? I'll try do my best to find the time. But
Totally.
unfortunately, that's what's going on.
yeah, it's just a reality right now, and that just it's got to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone who supported us all growing, and
And we really
we're not going to stop doing it.
we also really appreciate all the people that have reached out asking about Sherman. It just clearly meant a lot that these people were
Yeah.
wondering, and were interested and like care about us as individuals, clearly, and we really appreciated that. That meant a lot to, I think, all of us. So Sherman, obviously, especially, but
it's like, you guys care.
You really love me. So yeah, so but just wanted to touch base on that. Like I said, there's no bad blood here by any means. We absolutely love Sherman. And,
That sounds like a name of a new card.
You all.
he rules. But yeah, so to that end, if you have any questions, you have any concerns about anything, feel free to reach out to us. If you feel free to reach out to Sherman. And you can always get in touch with us on our Discord or on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the whole nine. As well, check out our streams every Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time as
Is it
well.
6? I thought it was 5.
6.
No,
I'm
6.
bad at our times.
Yeah.
I was gonna be early for
bad
once.
at math.
Maybe they just told me 5, so I'm on time.
Oh, yes. No, actually,
Is that 5?
we joked about that.
Yeah. And also, if you do end up missing our streams, you can also check them out on YouTube. We do post the games on YouTube afterwards, so you can go check those out. It also has a little bit of extra details.
Watch Brian and Zach have no cards in their hand as I play the smallest bones available.
It's going to be
Oh, boy.
amazing. So,
Tiny bones.
all right.
And mention that you guys are releasing something soon. So,
I am confused.
I'm thinking you guys have launched Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, we obviously love all of the just support, but if you wanted to support us financially, you can absolutely feel free. We only have a couple tiers right now. It's nothing major. So there's like a thank you tier as well as a little bit of behind the scenes and a little help with like deck techs and whatnot. So yeah, definitely check out our Patreon. All of our links are in our social media infos and on our website.
Yep.
So yeah, you can check that out, into the99.com. And thank you for mentioning that, Sherman. And just thank you for being a part of the team for the last year. It was
See,
awesome.
like I said, background.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep forgetting to bring that up. So even when you was talking, I was like, what are we launching?
Yeah, what are we
Yeah,
launching?
same here. I was like,
But no, yeah. So we, like I said, thank you for being a part of the team for the last year, and it's crazy that we pretty well hit a year. So
Yeah, we never imagined it to be going like this strong.
Yeah. So
2 weeks.
Yep. So
Yeah.
again, thank you guys. Check out all the things that I mentioned, and we will see you next week.
All right, catch you later.